Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early March 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Scorpio gang in early March 2026? It is Pisces season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in early March. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. Hopefully. Sometimes the deck is a little picky. That's okay. Oh, all right. The Helping Hands card, soft energy, which I think can be really nice. And I just love the spiritual aspect. I love the spiritual tie to this. There could be a lot going on in the etheric realm when this card shows up. So just like a lot of these oracle cards, there's multiple layers to it. Before we fully dive into that, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see here, it's a beautiful piece of imagery. It's like really gorgeous to me. It's light, it's vibrant. We have this lovely lady. It looks like she's having herself a little nap, right? She's taking a little snooze. She is surrounded by these hands, and there is also this luminous ring of light surrounding her. So first and foremost, my mind always goes to spiritual protection, whether it's guides, spirit team, angels, ancestors, could be maybe one of each, right? Like to me, it's spiritual protection and insulation. Now, I do believe most human beings are really protected well, but sometimes it increases depending on the time and depending on what you're going through. And this does feel like a lot of spiritual shielding. So just know Spirit's with you. You are protected and it's amped up. Now, this card can also represent literal help and assistance. So for some Scorpios out there, being part of the collective myself, I know we don't ask for help unless absolutely necessary. Maybe there's something you might need a hand with, right? Or maybe someone asks for your help. That could be a big thing too when this card is here. There's also this energy surrounding sleep. So I'm not sure if you're having issues sleeping, or if you've been, having some insomnia, or this could represent dreams because there's something about this person dreaming things. So hopefully it's good things like manifestation. But I would watch them. You might be receiving spiritual signs while sleeping. So we're just going to let her chill out. We don't want to disturb. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled They Are Mad. Now, it did feel like someone was quite grumpy. Now, could it have been someone else? Possibly. Maybe you were a little grumpy, right? No judgment here. I get it. But to me, that's just the main vibe I was picking up. There was other stuff as well, but I felt like someone was like really in their feelers. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Scorpio gang. What do we got in early March? Quick, very first shuffle, this card pop. And the Magician has been here quite a bit. Funny how I was speaking about dreaming about things and turning them into reality, and we get the biggest manifestation card in the first slot. Let's get a couple more. He has been showing up a lot throughout the zodiac this week. So much spirit. All right, so we have Temperance right there in the center. Calm, chill, relaxed, poised. We're gonna have to see what's coming. Let's get one more. And the Sun. Wow, Scorpio gang. Okay, I'm getting pretty pumped. Okay, I'm going to really try to stay even keeled here. I like to hold a sense of neutrality because I know how readings can be. They might look amazing when we first start pulling, but then when we start getting clarifiers, we'll take a left on us. But this is a really, really great way to start a reading. If you're cross-watching for a Scorpio as well, but I'm very optimistic. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, let's talk about elements. I always feel like it's very important to just take a brief look at elements because it tells us how the energy is flowing, how it could be moving, and the areas of life that could be very important. And this one is very much fire predominant because we have the sun and temperance, that's fire energy, and then we have the magician, which guess what? That's all elements. The magician is master of all elements, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But when it comes to the fire, that is the suit of action. So whether it's the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions we want to take, it could represent vitality, health, wellness, energy levels. It could represent passion, drive, desire. So there's a lot of burning energy here with the fire, which is usually very good to move things forward. Remember, it's the action suit. Now, the downside to fire, sure, it could be a little volatile, right? It could be a little explosive. It might take a left on us. So that's something that we do want to keep a very close eye on. There is a certain intensity, and there's a very, very powerful spiritual undertone to the Scorpio energy this week, more so than I've felt in a very long time. Now, speaking of spirituality, the magician, as I mentioned, is the master of all elements. So we got fire, we have water, we have air and earth. It's all present there. So we just look at him as a big theme. But I can't get away from all this spiritual energy. It's been since the Oracle card. Now, all of these have spiritual undertones. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we have the magician himself. And we see him, he's chilling there. Let's move him away from the amethyst so you could get a better look. And he's standing there, he's got his wand up in the sky, little ritual table, all the little elements out there. Seems to be a conduit for energy. Now, the magician, can it represent spirituality in general? Yes. Could it represent spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, ritual? Absolutely. The magician's huge when it comes to that. So for a lot of Scorpios, maybe that's a good place to put your energy if you're not doing it already. This is the biggest card of manifestation, right? Where it's like I'm taking something from the thought realm and bringing it into the material. So I love that. So if you've been purposely praying or manifesting something, this is a really good sign because this tells me that your ability to do so feels heightened, which is really great. So you might have something big coming in here with this magician. Now, there is a downside, just like with everything else, and the magician, in and of itself, the biggest downside, if we're not talking about some dicey spiritual stuff, the magician can be someone that's a little too controlling, where it's like my way or the highway. The magician wants to control everything, every step along the way. So watch out for any individuals that are a little too controlling and not flexible. That's a big thing. But I love the magician for the spiritual aspect and the manifestation aspect. It's really, really good, and we're just going to see what he has to say. I mean, he's working with a lot of really strong energies. So we're going to get him tucked in there. Now, the spirituality does not stop here because we move over one more step and we have temperance. Cool. Big Sagittarius vibes. Archangel Michael depicted right on top of it. So that message I was given here with this helping hands, the spiritual protection, this is one of the biggest tarot cards of spiritual protection with Archangel Michael, the defender, on it. So I'm just going to reiterate that message to a lot of Scorpios. It's like, no, Spirit's with you. They're really with you. They're always with you, but they're really with you right now, which is super reassuring. I really like this, and I love this for the whole collective. Now, temperance, again, it could be a Saggy or a Sagittarius, unless you have some Sagittarius placements yourself. But what do we think of aside from the things we already spoke about? This is a card of patience. This is a card of just letting things flow, taking a step back, taking a rest, taking a break, being patient with something. So we do really want to see what shows up underneath this, because on the surface, it looks like not much is happening. And that's where we get to the negative aspect of temperance. Doesn't get discussed much. The harder aspect of temperance could be impatience, sure, or frustration. But the biggest thing is that it looks like nothing's happening on the surface, but something is underneath. So when I see temperance, sometimes it represents there's more than meets the eye, where everything looks normal, everything looks the same, but there's more behind the curtain. So we'll look at that as we move further. And again, with the magician, the magnetism, pulling things towards it. Then we have temperance, not chasing, just pulling things towards it. We move up to the back here, we got the sun. Beautiful. The most positive card in the tarot deck. I think 99% of readers would agree. And this is also spiritual as well, because when I see the sun, I think of source energy, that spark of the divine that we all have. And it's like the spark of creation. So I love the sun. Now, as far as zodiac signs, this connects to Leo. So if you're connected to Leo, this could be them showing up. The sun represents light, life, love, knowledge, abundance. It's the cup runneth over. It is the best card in the deck, period, hands down. But even with that being said, and speaking about the source energy and all that beautiful stuff, the sun does also have a downside. It could be a little too intense sometimes. So, energetic intensity, emotional intensity, something that ramps up. Have you ever had sunburn? Right? Like that's what I think of with the sun. Like even a good thing, you could have too much of it when this card is here. So we have the intensity, and the sun can also represent information coming to the surface, eureka moments, aha moments. I was in the dark, but now I see type of energy. So especially with this energy, there's more underneath the surface. We want to keep digging. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Magician. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's get in on this Magician here. Why is that? All right, quick, cool. Very planned out, very strategic. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands in the upright. This is being very particular. I will say this for those of you that are manifesting something, because I know not everyone that watches dives into all these different spiritual things, but if you are purposely praying for something or manifesting something, it is super important to be ultra specific about what you want. That's one message I'm picking up here. Like with the Magician and the Two of Wands, it's like you need to know what you want, you need to know what your end goal is, and be very specific about how that looks in the end. Especially if your powers to create are heightened in this time, you want to be as specific as possible. You don't want to leave in blanks for the universe to just fill out on its own. Now, aside from that, we'll put that to the side. We got the spiritual manifesting stuff out of the way. The Two of Wands is my biggest card of strategy and planning. So whether it's advice from Spirit with the Magician and the Two of Wands, where Spirit's like, listen, if you want control of this situation, you need to be very strategic moving forward. It could be advice for some Scorpios, where you need to be moving in a strategic way. Or it could even be somebody else that's planning something, where it's like, hey, I don't want something to go off the rails. I'm going to be very controlled about this, and I'm going to plan this proper. So again, whether it's someone that already has a plan or they're in the planning process. So we're going to keep going. I think that all speaks for itself. I'm really excited to see where the energy goes with Temperance and the Sun, because that's the energy I felt like, all right, there's more here. There might be more here. So let's see what Temperance has. And once again, we're all fire still, right? Two of Wands, fire. But let's see what Temperance has for Scorpio gang, please. Thank you. This energy is nonchalant, but I almost don't buy it. Okay, so, and this is no judgment here. Again, you know, I'm part of the collective myself, being a Scorpio moon. But when I see Temperance with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, yeah, I don't care, but I really do. Right? Like I'll never tell someone I do, but the energy's acting as if it doesn't care. It's acting as if it's unbothered. So again, I'm not saying that's definitely you. It could be someone that's around you where they act very nonchalant. They act very detached. They act like, yeah, all right, whatever. That's how the energy feels to me. It's acting as if it doesn't care, but it really does quite a bit, way more than it would seem. Because the Four of Pentacles is an energy that holds on to something, even when it's in reverse, right? There's also this little warning here, like don't splurge, don't overspend. That's a completely out of left field. But the Four of Pentacles itself is holding on to something and it never forgets. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the phrase, a Scorpio never forgets, right? So when I see Temperance with this in reverse, it's like, oh no, I remember. I didn't forget a damn thing. So like, I don't want to say it's grudgy. It's just an energy that's acting like it doesn't care, but it really does. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure what every single one of you are going through. It's like it's taking mental notes. Okay. So I don't know. We're going to keep going. Either that or it's someone acting nonchalant or acting like they don't care when in reality they really do quite a bit. Let's keep going. Let's see what the Sun has. So why is the Sun here? You ever hear the phrase like looks can be deceiving? Like that's kind of how this middle feels to me, because it's like it looks like this, but in reality it's like this. Let's go in on the sun and see how this goes. So why is the sun here? Thank you. Wow. Wow. I mean, I just love this energy here on the back end. So we have the Page of Pentacles in the upright underneath the sun. Either this is some like really good, exciting, tremendous news coming in, or this is gaining some clarity too. Like when I see the sun, I think of illumination. I think of stuff coming to light. And when I see the Page of Pentacles, I'm bringing something to light. So to me, could this be a surprising, unexpected talk? Yes. But to me, there's a certain aspect about it where it connects the dots and brings illumination. I will say this, when we look at the big picture, aside from the planning, aside from the nonchalant energy, we got wins and victories every step along the way. There's so much abundance here, Scorpio. But when I see the Page of Pentacles, if you're not connected to an earth sign, remember, it's fresh, it's new. It's an energy that approaches. So I've been feeling this since the beginning. Remember, I was saying there's like a certain magnetism. When I see the sun with the Page of Pentacles, it's like, phew, this energy comes to me. You ever see like those bug lights? And I hate to use that as an example, but like when it's summertime and you turn on like those bug lights and the bugs all come to the light, that's how this energy is feeling to me right now, where it's like magnetically attracting and pulling stuff in. So again, whether it's here it comes, here they come, it's given me that type of energy where you could be pulling things and experiences and people your way, even if you don't realize you're doing it. That's another vibe. But yeah, this conversation, this talk that seems to come out of nowhere, it's illuminating for some reason. So I think this is really good. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Overall, yeah, do we got wins and victories and manifesting and spiritual protection? All that stuff is in play. But if you kindly look in the box, it's been a nice shift of energy for what we've been getting for a few weeks. But position number one, we have the Magician with the Two of Wands. Now, this is very strategic and planned out. I did say if you are praying or manifesting something, know what your end goal is and be very specific about what it is you're trying to create. Don't leave it up to the universe's imagination. But this also feels like somebody trying to control a situation by moving in a very strategic, planned out type of way. So whether that's advice for you or whether that's what someone's doing, move into the middle. We have Temperance with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So looks can be deceiving. There could be someone that's either acting nonchalant, acting like they don't care, when in reality they do. And I was also getting this energy of someone like taking mental notes, like, I won't forget. So there's an energy remembering things, taking mental notes. But moving to the back end, we have the Sun with the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, could it be an unexpected, surprising talk? Sure, where the energy just seems to come out of nowhere and illuminate things. But I was also getting this interesting magnetism where it's like, yeah, here it comes, here they come. The energy's coming to you like a vortex. So just know, I think the energy looks very interesting. I would think it looks very positive for the most part. And whatever this conversation is, it could be some really great news. I just love the way the energy is heading. Okay, so please take a screenshot, claim this if you'd like. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, it could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Scorpio gang, please? Thank you. All right, cool. Five of Swords. All right. So, in the good sense, and I know we're looking at the shadow side, but I always have to at least sprinkle in the good. The Five of Swords is a card that has a lot of determination and it has no quit. But when we look at the shadow side of it, it reminds me a lot of what I saw last week, where even though the energy moving forward looks like happy sunshine and rainbows, underneath the surface, this Five of Swords can be aggressive, it can be pushy, it can be angry or mad. Now, I never judge people for the emotions that they feel, right? Like we're all human, we all have emotions, and we all experience the whole gamut of them, right? It's only when it becomes too persistent that's where it becomes an issue. So when I see the Five of Swords in the shadows, there's an energy here that's like, all right, watch out for any energies that are either persistently aggressive, angry, or mean, or this is an energy where Spirit's saying, don't push something too hard. That's a vibe I'm picking up. So we're just going to leave it at that. Scorpio, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight into your situation and you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the March subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 subscribers to win either a copy of the Everyday Witches Tarot, beautiful deck, or a handmade crystal pendant, which I showcase at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what zodiac signs do you get along best with? Which ones are your favorite? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.